Okay. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the ReCoop and Algonauts collaborating again 2 days in a row. What's up, Shaman? How you doing?
What's up, Coop? Nice to be back.
Yeah, we're here, and we're here with Brian Haney, the co-creator of Choice Coin. We've talked before, Brian. It's great to see you again.
Great to see you too, Coop. Thanks so much for having me on. I appreciate it.
Of course, man. Since the last time we talked, there has been so much going on with Choice Coin. You guys have had 2 votes. We're going to talk all about it. You got on Yieldly. You're now a DAO. I mean, there's so much. But before we do that, why don't you kind of, just in case somebody doesn't really know what Choice Coin is, just give us a quick, like Shaman just said, an elevator pitch for what Choice Coin is.
Yeah, so Choice Coin is a decentralized autonomous organization, or DAO, on the Algorand blockchain. It's also the largest open source software development project on the Algorand blockchain. Right now, we have about 75 developers from all over the world building voting technology, as well as some other types of technologies on the blockchain. That's all happening, again, open source on GitHub. But Choice Coin generally is the DAO that governs that software development. And then the asset that we have is Choice, which is a utility token for voting.
Mm-hmm. Totally. Last time we talked, you also, before we dive into Choice, kind of the news of the day for every asset is sort of a big red candle going down. And I know you guys have a algorithm that is helps predict the price of Algorand. So do you have anything to, put Shaman here? I know he's been nervous. We've been in the Discord and Shaman's been, I'm just kidding.
Been trying to keep the atmosphere up, but it's been fun day.
Tiny
Man's back though. So
yeah, Tiny Man's back. We're happy about that. People are, you can win in a whole bunch of different directions. But do you have any is your algorithm telling you anything? Have you looked at it?
Yeah, so we actually haven't been using our algorithm or even running it we haven't been developing with that. But I think generally, I still think Algo is probably the most undervalued asset in the market. The way I sort of think about it, or just at least a dips, right? It's super volatile, but I looked at a year ago, and it was, or even earlier this year, it was like 60 cents or 70 cents. And then think about all the progress that's been made since then. So now it's like 120. I think it's sort of I take a long-term perspective. I mean, my strategy, not giving investment advice at all, but I find undervalued assets, and then I buy them, and then I hold them long. That's, I think, the best way to do it.
Yeah, and that certainly applies to Algo. All right. So, okay. Well, Shaman, do you have anything? What did you, as I'm talking about things, I'm like, we're here to talk about Choice Coin, but by the way,
I could go on about Algo price movement all day, probably. It's probably not the best discussion.
And people want that technology to develop, or they want it to either be open or proprietary. We can continue building it out. We have the software in place to do that, and the data pipelines. It's just not where we've been focusing on Choice Coin. So we've been building Choice Coin. That's where the most demand is. That's where the opportunity is. So probably going to keep going in that direction.
Totally.
Yeah, I totally forgot about that algorithm, actually, because you mentioned it. I'm like, oh yeah, they did have that. So
yeah, I didn't forget.
All right, we keep you around.
Yeah. So, all right. So why don't we talk a little bit about Choice Coin and some of the things that have happened since the last time we talked? I know. So you have fully transitioned to a DAO, correct? Was there a vote to whether you should? Was that the first vote?
The first vote was for the release of Choice from the reserve address. So we had originally, I think, 250 million circulating supply and 750 million in the reserve. And then the first vote determined whether we would release 75 million Choice from that address on the first day of each year for the next 10 years, or 150 million Choice from that reserve address on the first day of each year for the next 5 years. And the result was that we're going to do 75 million on the first day of each year for the next 10 years.
There you go. Was it close? What was the result?
Yeah, it was pretty close. I think it was probably, we had over 5 million. I think it was probably 3.5 to 2.5 million. I think that was an estimate.
Yeah. Yeah. So that means that about 6 million Choice were used. And, reading up on how you guys are doing this, it's pretty interesting. It seems like you guys have come up with a, I guess it's not tokenomics, but I guess it kind of is tokenomics, where you get your choice back. So it's actually, you don't have to spend it. You're getting the choice back, and then there's also a reward pool that incentivizes participating. Do I have that right?
Yeah. So all choice you vote with, you get back, and then you also receive a reward proportional to the amount with which you voted. So if you vote with, I think for the first vote, if you voted with 100 choice, then you would have got 118 choice back.
Got it.
So it's really similar to like kind of how Algorand does it with their governance system. What's the lockup period? Are you guys planning to like increase difficulty, or is it going to be kind of the same throughout each vote?
Yeah, I think for the first one, it may have been a total of 10 days, and we released the rewards a little bit earlier, so it ended up being like 7 days. I think for the next one, it's going to be about the same. I don't know that we have any plans to change. I mean, long term, we'd like to make it happen faster, right? So we'd like to shorten it so that it's sort of it's easier for people to vote, and easier for people to make new proposals, and easier to get your rewards out, and as fast and easy as possible. People like the instant gratification. So I think that's a good thing. But otherwise, don't really have any plans to change it at the time being.
Got it. So moving forward, those those 75 million choice that are released each year, are those going to be reserved for all these voting proposals? Is that what the main use is for that?
So we actually just moved 40 million choice to the rewards pool for 2022. The 75 million choice was decentralized and distributed to members of the DAO, and they each have sort of assignments or like teams that they work on for various purposes, like proposals, grants, open source software development. So those are people who are then just managing those assets and distributing them to create and capture value for the network.
Awesome,
to answer your question, we have about 50, I think 50, a little over 50 million total for the rewards pool in 2022. And then next year, we'll probably take a portion of that 75 million and use that to create the rewards pool as well. I think we did 10 million of that 75 million went to the rewards pool this year.
Got it. Wow. So you guys are moving along. So how many members in your DAO, or how big is it?
I mean, we have like 30,000 users, I think, right now. So
that's fantastic.
Pretty massive, yeah.
Yeah.
That kind of growth.
So cool. How are you doing, man? How are you managing all this? Because you guys are making so much progress. Are you stressed, or are you having fun, or what's going on?
Yeah, I mean, I love doing this, and it's a really great opportunity to build something great and to be on the edge of innovation and really building phenomenal voting technology. I don't sleep that much, but definitely appreciating the opportunity that we have available to us right now.
Cool. What are you thinking, Andrew? You got?
I mean, I'm impressed with how far you guys have come. I mean, not that I doubted you guys in any way or anything like that, but it's just really cool to see something from kind of the beginning. Obviously we've been talking with you guys for, geez, it feels like 6 months. I don't know how long it's been, but just to see something start off, and then you guys, get the first, vote zero out there, and get on Yieldly, which was also awesome to see. You guys made a lot of progress, so great job.
Thanks.
Yeah, for sure. I mean, and that percentage, I don't see that percentage. It's still up there very high on Yieldly. Choice provides a very nice return on Yieldly. It's over 1,000% still, correct?
Yeah, I think so.
I think it was like 2,000, or maybe it's lowered since then, but I know I'm stacking them up, so.
Yeah, it keeps on giving. So, all right. So look, yeah, like he's saying, was it 6 months ago that what couldn't have been 6 months ago, the three of us talked, because we talked initially, way before even that, right, Brian? Like I talked to you, and then I talked to Archie, and then we all talked together, and it's pretty amazing. And I noticed this also with Aaron over at Headline. It's just like, it's pretty amazing how quickly everything is moving for a lot of you guys. And I think it says something about how quickly, the Algorand ecosystem is growing. And I mean, there's such a clear need for your tool. Are you hearing from other projects that may want to, use Choice Coin to, help with their DAO and things like that? Do you have collaborations in the works? What's going on there?
Yeah, we have a lot of that. There's a lot of demand for this sort of DAO infrastructure. You mentioned Headline and Aaron. He's a really great entrepreneur, and really admire what Headline is doing. Really great entrepreneur. I mean, that's why I love Algorand so much, is because it's a really great place for entrepreneurs. It's a place where you can create your own opportunity, which I really appreciate. And there's a lot of entrepreneurs on Algorand. Entrepreneurs who work for Tiny Man or as part of that DAO, as part of Yieldly, obviously has some really great entrepreneurs as well. So there's a lot of like talks about collaboration, and we've got a lot of things in the works, and I'm excited for what we'll see in the next couple months. But I also think right now, at least me personally, I'm trying to focus on building out the DAO structure internally. But we do have people who want to, or at least talk with people who want to use our software for other purposes.
Yeah, for sure. So, okay. So you just announced, I believe today, your second vote proposal. Was it today? Yeah.
Vote one.
So vote one. And this is how you're going to allocate Choice towards charitable, your charitable contributions, correct?
Yeah.
So why don't we walk through what this next vote is, and let's, and the different charities that you are looking to help support.
Yeah, so we have 4 charities. So they were all selected by members of the DAO. I think most of them are based in Africa. But essentially, you'll be able to vote on pairs. So it's 25,000 for. So the way it works is there's 4 charities, and we pair them together. So you can vote for 25,000 to go to the first 2, and 15,000 to go to the second 2, or you can vote for 15,000 to go to the first 2, and 25 to go to the second 2. And the charities were all picked by members of the DAO. We have like sponsors for each one of the charities that work with them. But we will launch that. I think it's on Monday or Tuesday. Tuesday, we're going to launch the app, so everyone will have a link. They can click the link, and then you can go to the website and you can vote.
Yeah, that's cool. And so, I've noticed. So Choice has a large presence in Africa, correct? Are you seeing that that's a large percentage of the DAO?
Yeah. So, I mean, I think the reason for that is demand. So, I mean, one of the reasons I really love Choice Coin is because, like I said, Algorand is a place where you can create your own opportunity, but so is Choice Coin. So we're able to like create opportunities for people. And the most demand for that was in Africa. Like the most demand for opportunities to earn some sort of cryptocurrency through a participation mechanism came from that place, and people there really love it, which is awesome. So like there's I mean our community is so excited about it. This one guy made a music video for Choice Coin, and he had all the stuff, and it was just like, wow, like I can't, it's amazing.
Yeah, that's wild. I think the community, I mean, obviously coming from someone who tries to build up the community, it's just awesome what some of these people will do, man. Like, just the gifts, and then like, music videos, just a little bit of everything. It's almost surreal. Really,
it is surreal. And then it's also just a testament to cryptocurrency in general, how, we're all on an equal playing field. You know what I mean? Like it exists within a certain thing. And, the United States economy, I mean, I guess the United States economy still looms large on most assets for some, for obvious reasons, but we're just all in the same playing field, and it can help lift up people financially in all different all different parts of the world. Just like it can lift us up too, and like it is just, but it's equal, in the first world, third world, whatever.
Yeah, I think that's definitely true for cryptocurrency generally. Like if you look, at least in the United States, like, I mean, federal incentives are to spend more and more money each year, and that's going to keep happening. Like the federal budget is just going to keep getting bigger and bigger, and that means that there's going to be more and more money in the economy, and that means that inflation is going to continue to drive income inequality. So when you have these non-deflationary assets like cryptocurrencies, it's a really good opportunity to equal the playing field.
I think so. Yeah. I know. When are we gonna because we still, as you're just like such an intelligent guy, and so
Thanks, Coop.
Oh no, I was talking to Brian. Sorry, but I'm just playing. But like, so I find myself wanting to have these types of conversations with you. But like it is interesting how cryptocurrencies they do seem to be still treated as it moves with innovation, like innovate, with the growth and innovation stocks. And it seems like it's possible. And maybe the catalysts are coming to where that kind of gets decoupled and there's a separation between the two. But because you would think it would, because the dollar just keeps on getting printed. And, things like Bitcoin and Choice Coin have a max supply, and Algo for that matter. I don't know why I left out Algo, but yeah.
Yeah, I mean, we really do think about Choice as a utility, like a key. Choice is sort of a key to unlock more opportunities. We want people to use it. So not thinking about that as sort of like a replacement for the dollar. Definitely not thinking about like Algo either as a replacement for, or even Bitcoin as a replacement for the dollar. I think the dollar is always going to be there as like the government's issued currency. But sort of just like in how you allocate your assets to create more opportunity for yourself. I do think that cryptocurrency is a good place to allocate those assets.
For sure. All right. So let's get back to Choice. Let's talk about Choice Coin. So, okay. So you're on Yieldly. Tiny Man is back. I know that, that was a big disruption for everybody. And now we finally, and people, you see it on Discord, everybody's excited, everybody's, buying DFly, and DFly is flying, or I don't know what it's doing today, but yesterday, not
it's still up
today.
there. No, it's still up there. I don't have any, but it's still up there.
Yeah.
Hold it, especially with the market right now. So
yeah. And then, so how long is Choice going to be on? How much longer for the Choice pools in Yieldly? How?
I think we're like a week left.
Oh, and is it done after that?
Those pools will be done, but we're working on continuing that partnership so that we can get some more opportunities for people to interact with Choice on Yieldly.
Yeah, and that serves a purpose too. It's not just to like gain more, and it also helps distribute the token to a community, right? It helps decentralize and distribute.
Yeah, exactly. It's decentralization. So that was a really good way for us to be able to decentralize the asset, to verify, to work with one of the premier companies and premier software products on the Algorand blockchain. Yieldly is awesome. Everybody loves Yieldly, and really appreciate the opportunity to work with them and to get to do that.
I know me and Shaman love Yieldly, and it sounds like you love Yieldly, but I wouldn't go so far as to say currently everyone loves Yieldly.
That's true. Yeah, I'm a Yieldly lover. I really like this guys. I think they do really great work. So
yeah. Do you have an opinion? Do you want to soothe any anxiety about this YESP project, or the YESP? I keep on calling it YESP, but that's clearly not how you're supposed to pronounce it.
Yeah. What is that?
That's the YE Sports thing. Yeah. So the whole. Oh, so that's the thing they're building on Polygon.
Okay.
Yeah.
What is it?
See, you're so busy with Choice. Yep. Oh, yeah. Well, so they're building Andrew, what you want to? I'll let you chime in.
I mean, just a short thing. They're building an esports platform over on Polygon. They're creating a new token known as YESP. So there's a lot of controversy over there. People are a little upset that they didn't, try to either bridge over Yieldly or use the ERC token instead of, they made a new token. I can understand some of it for sure. I think the reaction's been way overblown, but right now it's been a little crazy in the Yieldly community the last couple of days. So.
Yeah, I think it also came out before Tiny Man was back, and Yieldly was basically the only place that anybody could go for any kind of action for a little bit. So when they when people felt betrayed by that, it was just like one other thing. But now I think that Tiny Man's back, and as they build out the thing and they show how it's going to, create value.
But also we have Humble Swap coming out too, right, Shaman?
Yes, Humble Swap. So actually, I did want to bring that up too because I was a little bit curious. I know obviously, providing liquidity on Tiny Man right now. As these new DEXs come out, Humble Swap as well as the others, do you plan on bringing liquidity to the different platforms, or are you going to be focused solely on one? What's the plan for that?
Yeah, so I really love Tiny Man too. I think Khan is one of the founders of that project, and I think he's one of the best entrepreneurs on Algorand, and really, really brilliant and focused guy. So I think that Tiny Man did a really good job responding to the vulnerability, and I think I trust providing liquidity there.
I agree.
I think that Yieldly has this new liquidity platform as well. So that's going to provide more incentives for people to provide liquidity on Tinyman. I just saw the roadmap today, and it looks like they're going to have additional incentives as well. I think having more decentralized exchanges or liquidity providers is a really great thing for the network. So I'm really excited about HumbleSwap. I'm really excited about Algodex. I think they'll probably all find a niche, and I think they'll all probably find a way to incentivize people to put their liquidity there and to use it. And I think that's going to be a really great thing for the network overall.
So what, and with Choice Coin and the roadmap, you have these internal votes for how you're going to manage your DAO. And then I kind of touched on it with like talking to collaborate with other projects, but how is looking towards the future a little bit, how does Choice become a tool for elections, and how are you seeing that kind of play out?
Yeah, so that's a tough question. So like, I think right now, I mean, originally we sort of like, okay, like what's sort of the problem, and it was needing a way to like to make decisions. Anything about voting is one of those, and like election voting, they're still using like paper ballots in Florida, and it doesn't really make any sense. I mean, even like the most sophisticated voting technologies they're using for elections are going to be like computers that are all still like organized within the state. So like states still handle all of the elections. Like with our system, you can have anybody vote anywhere in the world, instantaneously with results. So it's definitely like 100 times better than anything that they're using. But at the same time, like that is a massive institutional process that's been put in place, and there is a lot of friction preventing anything from changing. So like, where is the demand and opportunity right now? It's in DAOs, and it's in blockchain. So we're focusing now on building out this DAO infrastructure internally, and then collaborating with other projects and helping them to build out their DAO infrastructure as well. It's really cool because it's all open source. So we're able to work with anybody and can just send them the code in the GitHub repo. And I do think that'll be a really great thing to have these sort of DAOs evolve with these new infrastructure tools on Algorand. And I'm not really focused on solving problems that people don't really want solved. So like, you know what I mean? Like there's problems that don't exist because like they can't be solved technically. There's problems exist because people are making a lot of money by making them exist.
Yeah, they're dug in so deep. You're fighting an uphill battle when you're going to, government infrastructure and all of that. It's I mean, one day I think it'll happen, but I think it's going to be, we'll probably all be pretty old at that point. So
when we've talked about it in the past that there is the voting that these DAOs often do are just held in like a Discord, or stuff as rudimentary as like Twitter polls and stuff like that, or polls on Discord, or however that works, which are totally you could use bots, and there's different ways to manipulate those votes, and it's not secure is the point. So this type of stuff is needed. Full disclosure, obviously the ReCoop is sponsored by Headline, so I don't mean to keep bringing them up, and I don't want anybody to not know that, but it seems appropriate to bring up that they announced that they came out with some DAO tools today. Did you have a chance to look at what they released?
Yeah, so I did see that they've been tweeting about building out DAO infrastructure. I've talked with Aaron about some of that too, and we talked about potentially collaborating. So I'm hopeful that we can collaborate in the future. Like I said, I think Aaron's a really great entrepreneur. I've talked with him a lot about what he's doing at Headline. I'm a big fan of that project as well. So I think it'll be more like finding ways that we can collaborate to build these tools for the Algorand blockchain and for DAOs on the blockchain.
So there you go. So that's somebody that you've talked to and about potentially collaborating with. And so the way, the way this works is basically you have a DAO with a certain amount of members. So if you were going to give somebody the Choice software, help them do this. And so let's say I have a DAO of 500 members, and I would like a vote of all 500. I mean, this is a small scale thing, and you could almost even do this with like a paper vote at that small scale. But still, or let's say I have 5,000 members, and what I could potentially do is for each vote release 5,000 tokens to each member, one token each, one vote, one token, and each member would vote with that token, and then we could easily have a fair vote because we know that only one went out to each person. We know 5,000 went out to each individual in the thing. And then you can document that each person was able to vote and then it wasn't stolen or hacked or anything like that. Is that basically how this is working, or is it more complicated than that?
So yeah, if you wanted to do that, then you could definitely do that.
Right. And then what are the other ways to potentially use Choice, or in other ways that in the, in the future that you guys are seeing how this can be done?
Yeah. So I think it sort of depends on like, so you mentioned like, is this a fair way if it's like every person has one, but like you could also have a fair system where you can vote with as many and you can get as many as you want. Right? If you're earning the asset through, or the key through a fair system, then like there's nothing like inherently unfair about letting people have more influence over the ultimate decision, because people have put more work and effort into building and creating value for the network.
Right.
How do I see it evolving? I mean, so yeah, what I really want to do is I want to create an easy system where people can log in and anybody can just make a proposal and initiate that, and then have the DAO vote on it. So like right now we're still like coming up together internally, like, okay, like what's the issue going to be, and how are we going to frame this, and then launching the software, but sort of having something that's end to end and it's always live and just gives more opportunity to people to have influence. I think is a good thing. It's a really hard problem to solve, to completely automate that. Like we definitely have some automation in place, but to actually automate the whole thing, it's tough, because you have to find a way to like validate proposals so that people can't just put some sort of like vulgar like whatever like jokes and then vote on it, right? Like you have to find a way to like, okay, here's like a legitimate thing that anyone can do, and then validate it and then let it open to the community.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So, so you voted to, move from where you had the choice to over to another wallet, to the DAO wallet, right? For the first one. And then the second one was where you're going to put Choice towards, charitable donations. And so as this progresses, like what kind of things do you see, like other things you might be voting on? Like, I'm just trying to get a picture of like the different types of things that the Choice DAO may vote on in the future, just to kind of see where this is headed and could evolve to.
Yeah, probably like roles or positions within the DAO, sort of like responsibilities,
Right.
voting on the allocation of Choice, voting on new projects to pursue.
Right.
So like maybe like you can vote on whether to do a collaboration with another Algorand project, or whether they want to do something on Ethereum, or maybe it's like they want to vote on whether they want to allocate this much Choice to a collaboration with Headline or Yieldly or something like that, giving people the choice to, like, when we have, because we have those decisions, right? Like we have decisions like where do we spend our time, where do we allocate our assets. So then letting people be able to make those decisions is a good thing. But then also like the proposals from the community too, right? So the cool thing about Choice is you can get it through participation, and that's the main way that people get it. So because they can get it through participation, voting on like who to allocate those assets to, or how much to allocate to specific teams, how much to give to OSS or open source development versus giving to grants or R&D.
And is it something like, and I'm sorry that I'm sort of, talking a lot there, Andrew, but is it something like, let's say the Algonauts Discord wanted to turn into a DAO, right? Like let's, maybe they wanted,
it's not a bad idea.
It's not a bad idea, right? So the Algonauts Discord turns into a DAO. It could easily, do you see that like, you could vote on whether to, allow the Algonauts Discord to, use your guys' technology, or, is that something?
We wouldn't have to vote on this. So like it's open source. So if Algonauts wants to use our technology, then they can go on our GitHub and they can download it and they can edit the software to their liking, and then you can use it.
And then it's there.
If people do that, then yeah, it's obviously great if they like talk to us, because we can help them. We can provide some support for them.
Right.
And we can co-market the opportunity, right? So just letting people know that we're working together, and we appreciate that. And under the open source license, as long as you give credit to Choicecoin, you can use it.
Sweet. Awesome. So yeah, we have the Algonauts DAO. We'll call it what we create, like a what, not coin or naughty coin?
Naughty coin. There you go.
There we
I'd
go.
buy some naughty
I'll be
coins.
minting it right when I get off here.
Yeah, we
Say,
just
Brian, if you're looking for a new job,
yeah, you can go. You can
the
come work
naughty
at
DAO.
the naughty DAO. Oh boy. Oh man.
But more on a serious note, you mentioned Ethereum when we were talking about possible different votes. Is that something that you guys are exploring? Possibly in the future, just a cross chain infrastructure there, or
I thought about it. I'm definitely thinking about it. I don't know if we're going to do that. It's just sort of an idea.
Yeah.
But I think there's like a lot of good things about Ethereum, and I think it could be a good opportunity. And we sort of started spitballing ideas, but haven't really put anything in motion yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think it's
Cool.
a good idea to have on the board for sure. I know everyone has their own opinions. I mean, I definitely Algorand all the way, but I do think it'll be a cross-chain future. So it's definitely something to keep in mind.
Yeah, I think interoperability is huge. We also started thinking about interoperability with Bitcoin, or using Algorand to send cheaper transactions with Bitcoin. I think that Algoment and GoBTC has done a really good job of that. So that's one of the things. Is like there's so many problems. I mean, there's so many problems to solve, but like there's also so many great entrepreneurs and companies working on Algorand. So like problems are just constantly being solved every day.
Yeah.
Yeah, the next 6 to 12 months, I think, is going to be pretty intense. There's going to be a lot of stuff coming online. It's going to be super exciting.
For sure.
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah. What do we not cover here? I feel like I've got a good picture of what Choice Coin is. How is Archie? How's Archie doing? Is he
well? Yeah, he's good.
He's good. Are you guys are still happy with each other? You're working well together, everything? Because I remember the last time we spoke, you guys had met in person for the first time.
Yeah. Archie and I work really great. I'm really always amazed at how much we've were able to accomplish together. So,
yeah, cool. So what are we talking? So next steps, you're putting your head down. You have this next vote, and potentially you're going to extend this yieldy pool, and and that's it. And you're just going to figure out how this vote goes, and then it's on to the next vote, and just continuing to grow out this DAO and make it stronger. And you are potentially thinking about bringing these tools to other chains. Now, do you see out there in the world, on other chains, similar types of projects that are solving similar problems? Or is there any projects that you kind of look at and compare yourself to, or are inspired by, or anything like that?
Yeah, I mean, there's a lot of other people who are doing similar stuff to what we're doing, right? So I mean, Headline is doing some similar stuff to what we're doing. I think on Ethereum, Aragon is doing similar stuff that we're doing. I think there's a down thing called Pi DAO too. It's doing similar. Gitcoin Grants is another one Gitcoin Grants does a really great job, of like creating opportunities for open source developers. So yeah, there's a lot of other people who are doing like similar things to what we're doing, and yeah, I don't know that we really compare. Like we have this sort of like unique place for what we're doing and who we're voting it for, and I think that's a good thing. But there's definitely a lot of like other projects out there, which isn't a bad thing, right? You can learn from them and collaborate with them and grow together. That's one of the cool things about blockchain, right? It's not like it's not as cutthroat as traditional markets because it's open source.
Yeah, I know. I mean, and even on every level of, I think that the cryptocurrency community, the blockchain community I have found it to be one of the more supportive places I've ever. It's just a lot of people trying to lift each other up, and when people are losing money, it's like it's either jokes or just helping each other navigate the waters. And then when everything is going up, it's fun, and that's just a price action. But then I noticed projects when I spoke with Natalie Salamink from Prismatic the other day, and she was also talking about how helpful everything is. It doesn't feel very competitive. Everybody works together and they want to help each other, and it's so it seems like in Algorand specifically, it's not a lot of. I mean, there are you have some stuff happening where it's certain personalities maybe don't get along with each other, but that's, I mean, come on, what are we in utopia? Like this is
right.
Yeah, I think Algorand is the best blockchain, and it's a really great place for entrepreneurs and for innovators. And I do think there's that team like aspect here, where if you reach out to somebody, typically they're willing to respond and to talk to you, and I think it's a really great place for collaboration. People who build on Algorand are typically here because they want to be here.
Yeah, for sure. All right. Well, what did we miss? What do you got, Andrew or Shaman? I keep calling you Andrew. It feels weird.
Right. Whatever. I guess I go by both now, officially. But
yeah.
Nothing. I mean, I think Brian covered a lot of it. I'm super excited to see. I hope you guys can continue some sort of partnership with Yieldly. I think it'd be cool to see some sort of LP staking like they do with I think Akita right now. I think that's always cool to see them build out there. Looking forward to getting my votes in for vote number 1, which is technically, I guess you could say, vote number 2. But I'm gonna have to look through these charities and see. I'm definitely interested to see what you guys got, and excited to see what Choice does. And like I said, it's been I think we were online 3 months ago, and I met Brian and Archie about 5 months ago. I think right around when the Algonauts first started, which it's been crazy to see your guys' growth, like I said, and excited to see what you guys do in another 5 months from now.
Thanks so much. What about Humble Swap? When is the launch going to be?
So I mean, I can't say anything too official, and I'm definitely just getting onboarded, so I'm getting filled in with everything that's going on here. Definitely keep a lookout for us in February, though. We just actually launched a new version of our testnet today, so if you get a chance, go down there, head over to the Humble Swap Discord, give us any feedback. But we're hoping to get it out soon. I'm super excited about the project. I've had opportunities with other projects in the past that nothing against those projects, but I just never made the decision to leave somewhere until Humble Swap, and I think that's a testament to what they're doing over there. Chris is, he's a madman. Reach is done super well, and I'm excited to see what they build out. So,
congrats again on that. I'm excited for you.
I appreciate it. Thanks, Brian.
Yeah, me too, man. Me too.
Thanks, Coop.
Are you? Did you guys meet at Discord or at Decipher? Did you go to Decipher, Brian?
No, I wish I did, and I didn't.
Next year, definitely go. It was a great time and a lot of good networking opportunities. I mean, there were so many projects that I learned about that I didn't even know were being built. Algo Oracle was one of them. Actually, they weren't down there, but just to talk, speaking to different people involved, some people at the foundation as well. It was a really great time.
I was actually going to say, was this Humble opportunity, was that, did that come from a beer at Decipher?
It actually didn't. So I talked about working over at Reach a little bit before Decipher, or probably back in September. I talked about possibly taking a job. We didn't find a good fit at the time. They reached out. I saw them down at Decipher. Reach actually threw a party, not an after party, a pre-party pre-party on Sunday night. Went there, it was a great time. Got to talk with the team, see some familiar faces, and they sent me an email a couple weeks ago, seeing if I was possibly interested in coming over to Humble Swap, and it was a pretty quick answer from me. So
that's awesome, man. Congratulations to both of you guys. I mean, it's cool. Like I know I've been treating this conversation more like, we're hanging out here, because I feel like I've known you guys, you're Green Rex on Discord, and you come around to the Algonauts Discord. So we talk, and, I know you always come through, and you have you guys are always writing these like really great papers. So if anybody is interested in learning more about Choice Coin and, decentralized voting, there is so much really good literature that Brian and mainly you, right? You do a lot lot of the writing. That's correct. Yep. Yeah. So there's a lot of material. Yeah, you work on it together. Brian and Archie work on it together, but it's definitely worth giving it a shot. You can learn a lot.
Thanks, Coop.
Yeah, I've read a lot of your papers, and I learned stuff.
I agree.
Okay. I'm doing great. All right, guys. Well, hey, thank you so much for coming on, Brian. And, it was fun hanging out with you again, Shaman.
Yep. I'm sure I'll be back.
Yeah, we'll do it again.
I appreciate you.
Yeah. Thank you.
All right. Bye-bye.